I don't really know how the Pelican got started. I have no idea what made Dad decide he wanted to build the Pelican.
So we grew up in a town called Pelican Rapids, and the Pelican's been there as long as I can remember. Do you remember Pelican Rapids without the Pelican?
Oh yeah, because I can remember Dad working on it on the blacksmith shop.
Which was
Yeah.
where? Right in town?
Yeah, right down. Uh, well, just north of Gilman and Antoine's house.
So what year do you suppose when was the Pelican made, do you know?
Well, I would guess in the late 50s. I'm not sure about that, but I would guess that.
So before the Pelican was there, was the bridge across the river?
Oh yeah,
So the river, the falls was kind of
that was
a destination or something to see when you visited town.
that was always there, and the that big concrete building used to be a power plant. Used to generate electricity for
That
the
windmill?
town. Well, yeah,
Right?
the windmill came later.
Oh, it did.
Yeah,
Was that an
that was
active
Dad's
windmill or was it a decoration?
decoration.
It
That was
was.
Dad's idea.
That was too.
Okay.
All right, so we've all learned something new today.
So
what
anyway,
what came first, the Pelican or the windmill?
the Pelican. Yeah, and then it used to be J.P. Wallace State Bank, which was sold to Norwest, which in turn was sold to Wells Fargo. But J.P. Wallace had a mounted Pelican in the bank, and I don't know how Dad did it, but he talked the bank into loaning it to him so he could take measurements off of that to build the Pelican.
So it was Grandpa's idea for a project?
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't the city that came to him.
No.
Okay.
No. It was, yeah, as far as I know, it was his idea, and where he got the idea or why he wanted to do it, I'll never know, but.
So it started with the Pelican at the bank, and where they got it, were there there must have been pelicans in the area to call the town Pelican Rapids.
Oh yeah. I can remember seeing a lot of pelicans up there.
So Grandpa needed a project.
Yeah, him and Anton. And Anton, he died young, but Anton pretty much took care of the blacksmith shop, the customers, and Dad working on the Pelican.
Anton was a blacksmith also?
Oh yeah. Yeah, but it took a lot of Copenhagen, a lot of Norwegian to get the project done.
So he wasn't a fast worker.
So, there was no English.
Oh, yeah?
Oh no. And in fact, you went downtown, the stores were open Friday night, and you go downtown on a Friday night and you heard a lot more Norwegian than English.
Yeah.
In fact, I had cousins younger than me that when they went to first grade, they couldn't talk English. They just
Really?
talked Norwegian.
Huh.
But anyway, Dad built a Pelican. He got it all framed up, and they put mesh around it. And then they talked the REA into, they had a big boom truck that they used. Power was just coming to the rural areas, and they had that as a big heavy duty one. And they hooked onto it and just lifted it up on their boom and carried it down to the river. But in the meantime, Gilman and Cliff Runnigan and I and some volunteers on a Saturday, we poured a slab for the Pelican to sit on.
Were you a teenager at the time, or were you...
No, I think I was I don't know if I was out of school or, I think I was out of school.
pretty close to that time?
Yeah, late 50s, early 50s, or 56,
Yeah.
57. And we got the slab poured and got it all ready to go, and then the RA came down and they lifted the Pelican and sat it right on the slab. And Then we got an old, or he got an old plasterer that was retired. Can't remember his name, but he had a 55 Thunderbird convertible.
Okay.
And he was
Lucky him.
Yeah.
old guy, but
Okay.
that's what he drove.
He knew his car. So.
And he plastered that Pelican.
Okay. So when they put it in place, it was just the framework that was
Yeah.
put in place.
Yep.
Do you think they had a plan? Did they draw out plans, or did they just kind of wing it? when
Wing
they
it. Anyway, such a thing as planned.
were- Just the creativity of his mind, and because I'm looking at a picture of it, and obviously it's big, so he must put a piece in place and stand back and look at it and put another piece in place.
Yeah, so the head isn't bigger than it
Yeah.
should be or too small. Or...
Right.
Yeah, well, he had that stuffed pelican from the bank,
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
sure.
and he used to take measurements and off of that and multiply it or something,
Okay.
you know. But it turned out pretty well.
Yeah, I'd say.
I know what that's like down there, just to get down there to get to the Pelican. I can't imagine driving a vehicle down there, a big boom truck with this thing hanging off it to even get it down there. 'Cause it
Oh,
seems
this
like
was an old 4-wheel drive truck with a boom on the back, and it would go just about any place.
I suppose there weren't so many mature trees and buildings in the
Oh,
way
no.
at the time.
No, but they could back down there and set it in place.
Wow.
So they didn't have to move it too far if they built it downtown.
No, just from their blacksmith shop, just down there.
Tell me again where the blacksmith shop was.
Oh, let's see, how could I explain it?
Was it
You don't know where Gilman and Anton lived?
Oh, yes. Okay, so
Straight north of that, about second building from the corner.
okay, so a couple blocks away,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. 3-4 blocks.
Now, how close is that to where 108 comes into Pelican Rapids?
Why, it was 2 doors off of 108.
Okay.
If you go out 108 towards Barnesville and
Yeah.
take that left by what was the old creamery, right?
Yeah, it's
Just
1
past
block
that?
west of that.
Oh, okay.
Just
So it's
down
right
there.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically down and around. So, any idea how long it took Grandpa to build the frame?
Oh, I can't remember.
Was it like a one summer project, or did it take him a couple years?
No, summer.
Okay.
Yeah,
So then once they got it down and put it in place, that's when they did the plastering?
yeah.
And then somebody must have painted it?
Yeah, they got, I don't know who painted it, I have no idea. But they painted, you know, the pouch and the beak is orange and
Yeah.
the body is
Yeah.
white, and they painted every few years.
Yeah, I would think they'd still have to
Yeah, maintenance it.
keep it up.
I wonder how many pictures have been taken of the Pelican.
Oh,
Well,
man.
I did just a search.
Yeah,
The big Pelican in Pelican Rapids, and this whole page of thumbnail pictures of it
Really?
comes up. So yeah,
Hmm.
there's
So-
millions.
I know after we got done with Pelican, then they made a sidewalk ramp from the ground out to the slab, and there's railings around the slab. That wasn't there to start with.
Oh, was it?
okay.
interesting.
No,
Did they get paid any money to build this Pelican, or reimbursed any expenses?
not that I know of.
That's a-
Interesting, I wonder what it would cost in yesteryear's
Yeah.
dollars and today's dollars.
Wow.
So tell me about the windmill. I had no idea that was.
Well, after he got done with the Pelican, then he saw that building over there, you know, that used to be have a turbine in there, and they'd run water through it and generate electricity for the town.
Off of the falls.
Yeah. Well, not off the falls, but it would run through the building. And of course, they'd taken that out years ago because it wasn't big enough to mount anything. So we decided, well, I don't know, maybe make that into look like a touch windmill.
Just a
So,
fleeting thought.
Let's do that.
so he did it. He put the 4 fins on there and put electric motor on there so they could turn it on.
So
On
the
and off.
building itself himself was there.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
then they
All
put
he
the
did is
windmill-
put the four fans or whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it on there in the motor.
So, that's something you kind of take for granted.
Yeah.
Is it still there?
Yeah. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
so.
'Cause, I look at it every time. I
Yeah.
look down that way every time I drive by.
Yeah.
But
You're so used to it.
yeah.
I just think now, all the paperwork you'd have to go through to make something like that, where back then you could say,
Just do it.
let's do that.
Well, just do it.
What about the Space Needle?
The what?
What was this? Yeah, Anton had a Space Needle. What was that story? Wasn't that Anton?
Anton wanted to make that, and he did. He made it at the blacksmith shop, and he put it down in his yard. When he got done, it was just a perfect replica of the
Yeah.
Space Needle.
Was that a birdhouse or anything, or was it just a replica?
Just a replica, I think.
When did they move it to the park, by the Pelican,
I don't think it's down there.
isn't it?
I think it's in Rolog.
Oh,
I'm not sure,
question
but-
for Josh.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I think so.
We'll have to ask him. So what year did Grandpa pass?
85.
So sometime then, was it the 70s or 80s that the bridge? What was that story?
Well, and Steve was bringing a picture tomorrow of the
Okay.
bridge because Dad designed the bridge. He drew a picture of it in the basement, and he got Noble happening with the Otter Tail Power representative in Pelican, and he got the engineer from Otter Tail Power in Fergus interested in to do the engineering of it, so it'd be
Yeah.
okay. And that was pretty much Dad and Ing and Carl.
Okay. Gilman?
Yeah, once in a while. He was still working, so
Oh.
he worked once in a while whenever he could.
Yeah.
But they ate all the slabs they made up on the ground. They drained the river way down
They did?
so they could pour the footings for the towers. Well, one of them was still out in the water, so they had to build a dike around there so they could dig down and get it on solid footing.
So it was Grandpa and his brothers that actually built it?
Yeah.
I didn't remember that.
Hmm.
Did he bring the plans from Norway, or where did he, or was it just
No,
something
he just designed it. Sat in the basement.
he just doodled until it came to be a bridge?
Yeah.
So who paid for that?
Well,
That was the city, wasn't it?
that was the Rotary that paid
Wow.
for it. But they poured all those slabs, and then I think the Fargo Foundry made all the steel,
Did they?
like for the towers and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they stretch all the cables that go from tower to tower, Yeah. Then they hung all the cables from this cable down that we're supposed to tie onto the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this engineer kind of screwed up because the deck was going like this all the way across the river. So
That's not
he,
good.
he kind of had to redesign the length of those cables.
Yeah.
But he did that, and then they changed that, and it turned out fine.
How did they decide where to put it?
Well, it was kind of the narrow part of the river,
Between
Yeah.
the two parks, too.
and between the two parks.
Close enough to town that everyone could see it and enjoy it.
Oh yeah, it's used a lot.
When I remember growing up across or on the river and seeing the other side, and when you're little, it feels like a world away.
Yeah,
So now with that bridge there, it's so easy to get from one side of the river to the other. It kind of tied it all together.
yeah, it did. And there's a lot of people that sunfish off that bridge.
Is that right?
They used to dive off it, but I think they put a stop to that.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it was deep enough.
Oh, it's deep enough.
Is it?
Yeah.
So did Grandpa and his brothers also? They must have obviously had help putting the steel up
Oh yeah, yeah. They got a crane in there for that.
and then
For that kind of
the wires that tied it.
Yeah, they got help for that.
So they did
But they
all-
did everything they possibly could themselves.
Sure.
They wouldn't have to hire anybody.
And was that done in the course of a summer also? I don't remember.
Well, I think that was maybe a couple of years. There again, a lot of Copenhagen, a lot of Norwegian.
Gotta do what you gotta do. Was Grandpa and his brothers at the dedication?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
They-
Should have brought some Copenhagen and some Norwegian
Yeah.
for today.
So it seems like they're doing all these projects for free. They had to make a living too.
Well, they had a blacksmith shop, and they were.
So they were busy.
Dad stood by that forge and trip hammer, all summer long, sharpening plowshares. There's another thing I don't understand either. Today, this day and age, we're so worried about deodorant and all this kind of stuff, Well, he'd come home at night just pure black from being by the forge all day.
Yeah.
And Mom make him go down in the basement, and he had to wash just down there and lava soap and wash his hands and his face and take his dirty overalls off and come back up and take a bath on Saturday night. But I can never remember him smelling.
Oh,
Really?
Never.
Huh.
okay.
I do remember he always had speckles on his glasses. We always wondered how he could
Yeah,
see
that
through
was
them.
from welding.
Yeah.
Better than on the eyeballs.
Yeah.
Oh, better.
Right.
Oh.
Because I'm sure they didn't have a lot of safety equipment back then.
No.
But when they had the blacksmith shop, of course, I was a kid. I was hanging around there all the time. They were chooping Copenhagen, him and Anton. And they threw their empty boxes out the back door. Because that was just a slough back out the back door. Of course, I had to go get a box of Copenhagen. All I could get was a couple little kernels.
But if you had enough of them.
I got sick, and that's the last of my chewing.
Well, you learned a good lesson.
Yeah. Are there other things around town that Grandpa and his brothers built that we don't know about?
Well, Anton built that electric car.
That's at Rollog now.
Oh.
Oh,
From scratch,
really?
completely from
The
scratch.
motor and everything?
Everything.
They were,
Built the wheels, everything.
Remember it?
Smoke wheels.
yeah, now that you bring it up, I vaguely remember them putzing around in
Especially
it.
in the Centennial.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I think both, didn't Bessie drive it or who drove it? One of the kids? It was in one of the parades.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I don't know.
Parade. Huh.
I don't remember who drove it.
It run good. But now it's sitting up there and being neglected because nobody's taking care of it.
Sounds like a project for Josh.
Somebody like that, needs
Yeah.
it needs to be taken care of.
Did that use car batteries or what did it use for power?
Steam.
It was steam. I was thinking it was, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
It had a little burner on it and created steam. And
There we go.
And what did they burn? Wood or coal?
one or the other, I can't remember. But he worked at that time, and Anton worked at the creamery. And Dave Berg was there, and Dave helped him with a little bit. But he'd built a lot of it at the creamery.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Dennis Resset the other day, and I said, "Do you have any idea when Anton died?" "Yeah," he said, "I do." Because he said, I was married in the summer of '72, and Anton and Borgo were there for my wedding, and then Anton died that fall.
So 72.
Hmm.
Huh.
So he was pretty young.
Yeah. Did you mention Carl? Was he part of it?
Oh, yeah. He was single. Well, he got married later in life.
Okay.
I don't know whether he was 55, 60
Oh,
or...
yeah, but was he part of the, making the bridge in the Pelican?
Oh, bridge.
Yeah.
I don't think the Pelican, but the bridge.
Didn't he farm? Wasn't he a farmer?
Yeah, yeah, until he moved to town. But he, oh yeah, those brothers, you couldn't separate them. They just